So just a little update on that idea that I had. At some point, I'm going to acquire the technology to do it graphically with Pi. I've also been doing some pondering about particular ways of using this to permute the view. So, like, there's no deep meaning to the Sachs spiral in itself. It is just a display of, if you were to geometrically array all digits in this way, that there would be these particular arcing parabolic curves that would be like prime numbers. And then you've got like the Fibonacci sequence and the golden spiral and phi, which is another transcendental number. And just has occurred to me, and I'm kind of listing out things like doing the grayscale for the numbers and frames of animation, but within this kind of layout, taking a look within the first several frames at least to look and see if there's any kind of, seeming patterns, Sachs spiral style, appearances. It had occurred to me that I could do things like highlight only the prime numbers, like prime digits, or only highlight the prime numbered places, black versus white or whatever. And also Fibonacci sequence numbered places. I know that would get farther and farther out in the millions. But all of these things I think there's ways to integrate them into a graphical representation of like the flow of these numbers. Something I'm definitely going to do is find a way to specifically highlight every instance in which combinations of 2 and 4 and 9 and 6 appear concurrent, touching. Or somehow within some of these palindromic numbers that I've been noticing where there's a lead up of numbers which then immediately occurs in reverse. So like it doesn't matter what the numbers are, but if it's like 141595141, there are places where stuff like that happens. That specifically may not happen, that sequence, but there are ones where it definitely does. So being able to represent this framework based on what I've already noticed in the pattern, the 24 part, the real reason for the video is that pondering these things. While I've been watching numbers stream by linearly, I've noticed that there's a lot of times it seems like there's almost a kind of pattern where it'll be 686, 535, 24, and you would expect maybe it's a 2, and it's not going to be a 2. You can bet that it's not going to be a 2. A sequence of 3 groups of 3, where the first and third digit of each group of 3 is the same as itself, even though not with each. that doesn't even happen. There's a lot of places where these almost patterns happen. And I have to wonder, is there a way to demonstrate consistency in the way that it evades a pattern? And is that something deep and secret about the nature of mathematics and pi and reality? Or is it perhaps something that is an artifact of the algorithm that is now used to calculate the furthest digits of pi, rather than something to do with, the actual measurement of, a circle to within a fraction, a ridiculously precise fraction? Craven and Edmund putting on the Matthew McConaughey pi recitation have said that they think that will be concluded somewhere around Saturday afternoon, midday. We'll see. They're having him nap 6 hours at a time right now. So somehow he got ahead of schedule. Maybe when the eclipse spamming happened and he kept counting through it, he was supposed to pause in between each one. I am personally looking forward to getting to hear the recitation of the following string of digits: 1, 3, 0, 9, 2, 7, 5, 6, 2, 8. Booyah.